Coach, you're locked in.
Okay, Coach, you know, the folks in the dog pound, they live for games like this. Snowy conditions here at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And now an introduction here to the starting 11 on offense.
Let's take a look at Willie Snead, wide receiver, undrafted coming into the league. He's the quintessential coach's son. Knows how to play the game so well and plays it with joy.
A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. Following the penalty, it's Hill. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Now a first down carry. It's Hill. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. Hey, 4 down.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They go play action with Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I won't wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Hold on. Check. Switch.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. Coming into this one, ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
Here we go tonight. Like 20, 4 down.
Mike's 50. Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get
Close.
Hey, check 20.
From the gun on 3rd down. Gone. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Myles Garrett in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Off the draw, here's Hill. And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a second straight play. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
50 wants the ball. Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Let's go, folks.
On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Go Brown. Brown. Hey, Shell.
Check 15. Check 15.
Done.
On 1st and 10, Goff on the move to his left. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
On 1st down, Grant trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Check. 40 the mark. Hey, Will, Mike 40. I got him. 6 guard. Check 6 guard.
Throwing on 2nd down. Goff out to his left. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
76. 76.
On 3rd down, here's Hunt. And he'll be brought down shy of the 1st down marker at the 11. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge. That's probably exactly what he's telling him in the huddle right now.
Seibert able to knock this one through. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the 2nd quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Jackson, he'll buy some time right. He's going to take off with it. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 32-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. This pass complete. Jackson finding Andrews. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will tie us at 3-3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
180. 2 for 1.
Check 3, check 3.
2 for 66.
Out.
They'll run on first down. It's Grant. And some room to maneuver. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. But what made that toss out to the right so successful? Because it looked pretty easy.
A belief in the play. An absolute execution by all 11 on the offensive side of the ball. Everyone took care of their assignment, but the reason they did so, every time that play is called, they think it's going to go for big yardage. It's their staple play, and they love to run it. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move, and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Intended for Antonio Callaway.
After reviewing the play,
this challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the New York office a holiday card. Back to the air. Goff on 2nd down. That's going to be caught. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Calvin Ridley in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns have taken the lead. So they're able to break the tie just before halftime. Now they just don't want anything crazy to happen on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, they want to just add the extra point, get the kickoff taken care of, and get to the locker room with the lead that they fought so hard to get.
A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
The lake effect snow set to continue for the second half of action as we are back underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have the lead, now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Watch the twist. Slam.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, but it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd.
It's going to be a long day. He's checking. Crash. Twist. Hard ball.
A shotgun snap for Goff. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Again, they run with Hill. Space to maneuver at the 40. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. Throwing now, Jackson on first down. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 41. They'll go with Hill here on first down. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Now a 10th carry for Hill. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. Jackson now throwing on 3rd and long. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Myles Garrett. My goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 41 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Here's Grant. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now on 2nd and 13. Goff. He'll let this go for the end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Watch twist. Watch twist. Hey, kill. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Now Goff. This is caught, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Antonio Callaway, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They go play action now. Jackson going deep for Benjamin. And that one knocked away and incomplete. Nice job defensively on what will be the final play of the third quarter. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson. To throw again. Dashing through the snow. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So they obviously declined that, and it is a touchdown.
They still had the option, but let's face it.
There's no option.
There's no option when you score a touchdown. An easy call for them.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Here's Jackson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. To throw is Jackson. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joe Schobert able to record his 5th sack of the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Rolling to his left. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
I like his effort there. He got it done on his own, but let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 49-yard line. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. That's good for a Raven 1st down, 15 yards there. Jackson now 5 for 5 on the drive. He's responded after the interception. It's 1st and 10. Now Jackson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Myles Garrett in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. And he's going to go down again. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Jackson now. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Bring it. Check 43. Hey, Shell. Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Rick Flair. Check 37.
Goff going to throw it. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
Well, so much of playing quarterback in the snow comes down to trying not to do too much. You've got to just keep telling yourself, throws downfield we've run every day in practice all year. But guess what? They suddenly become more difficult. And this one gets away from him and winds up an interception.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now it's Jackson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. And that one, Charles, is just going to about wrap up what was no doubt a dominating defensive performance.
Yeah, I don't care what team it is. I don't care who you play, whether they're strong offensively or not. Just giving up 3 points in the NFL, that's absolutely a dominant performance and one that they can build on.
A solid pickup of 13 sets them up first and goal.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Let's go. Safety, go ground. Check ground. Ground. Joker.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's second and goal.
You go tight. You got tight. You got tight.
This is Grant. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal.
Check 24. Check 24.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points. But this widens it out, as you said. And now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now, one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So